Hello, welcome back to Father-of-Two Plays Pillars of Eternity, Blind. Last time, we wandered through the forest north of the Gilded Vale, and we helped a man, or a dwarf, who was in need. We fought a wolf, found a wall we cannot climb yet, ran into a man who lost his friend, and tried to face the bear who killed his friend. We were unsuccessful. So we headed down to Gilded Vale here, and we'll continue from this point.
As you wish.
I assume Gilded Vale was the town we were headed for. I can't remember. Whoa. There be strange fruit on these trees. Okay. What is happening here? Hello? Friends? Hopefully friends.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
A man approaches you, his skin is dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Do you welcome everyone this way? Are you mad? No wonder this place looks half empty. I feel at home already. I might reconsider your lord's offer. Yeah, I guess because that does seem weird. Do they welcome everyone who comes to town like this? The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some
His gaze swivels back to you.
The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy.
He approaches you over a half-moon
Hollowborn
spectacles and
child?
scratches his chin. Oh, appraises. A Hollowborn? I can't sire children at all, from what I understand. I'm gonna refuse to answer? No. I'll just tell him no.
Absolutely certain? Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
Yeah, well, I'm not even sure what you're talking about, but I don't think I can have
stranger.
children.
Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth.
He folds his arms.
We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn, just southwest of here.
I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with a bioec. Is there someone in town who could help? I don't think I really want to confide in this guy at all. You said something about Hollowborn and Widewind's legacy before. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. That tree over there. Let's ask him about the Hollowborn, because I was interested. He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. I see, that's weird. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they're a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Redric's decree may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. I don't know if I want to confide in him. Okay, well, I'm going to. I need to know if I could get this cured.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak.
He points at a body hanging from the
Consider
tree.
yourself fortunate. After
He
she
sneers.
killed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
I see. You guys are very quick to hang
But
people.
if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Oh, wow. This guy. Very, very acerbic. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on Ingwethan ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Barath have mercy. We certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a bioec. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a bioec, you wouldn't be standing here. Well, fair enough. Don't believe me then?
Keep out of...
He nods curtly.
Listen!
What was that? So that's a loud bell.
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
What does it mean?
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urgeet looks out towards the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to you.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face,
Circumstances have changed a great deal.
and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. What do you mean? Don't threaten me, little man. What happened? Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? Yeah, okay, let's go with 4. I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable, for all I care. Find me afterwards. I'll know more soon enough. Okay, let's go with the top one then. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of the Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Barath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze upon you. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messenger arrives. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. I don't know, I don't want to... He's got more men than me, I don't want to get into a pissing contest with him. Farewell. Visions and Whispers. Let's see. How do I bring up my journal? What button is it? J, obviously. Oh yeah, the bestiary. Let's read about a couple of other things before we read about our quest. Wolf, level 6. And we don't really need to know all the stats. What matters the most is the flavor. Where there are deer, wolves will soon follow. This Adaran proverb, often spoken with the first phrase omitted, suggests the vulnerability that early settlers often felt in the Eastern Reach. It also speaks to the long association with the Adarans, literally people of the deer, have had with the four-legged predators that are as ubiquitous in the Deerwood as they are in the Adaran Empire. Wolves are legendary for their speed as well as their ability to knock their prey prone, subsequently subjecting them to devastating attacks. Okay, spear spiderling. Let's read about the black ooze. Oh, gross. It looks like it's got people in it. belts and stuff. An ooze is a mobile, carnivorous mold that develops in dark, dank places that experience little to no regular traffic. Oozes feed off of ambient bacteria, fungi, and small insects as they grow. They begin to seek larger prey, including humans, once they reach the size of a dog. Like all living creatures, they have a measure of soul essence, but their lack of intelligence and true nervous system makes them mindlessly aggressive and difficult to deter. Their viscosity and mobility enable them to perform surprisingly nimble attacks, and they are capable of spitting corrosive enzymes to break down flesh and armor. Some of the more dangerous variants of the species are disease vectors, making any confrontation with them especially perilous. Gross. Skulder? Oh, that's a cool looking thing, also terrifying. Skulders are large mammalian creatures that dwell in caves in total or near total darkness. As a result, they have poor vision and rely on their sense of hearing to navigate and find prey. The protrusions and hairs on their ears allow them to detect airflow, which is key to telling direction in an underground environment. They communicate through screeches and clicks and use these vocalizations in a form of echolocation. They are communal creatures and will nest and raise young together. A spear spider. Due to spear spider's speed and unique method of attack, very brave or very foolish swordsmen and women, particularly members of the Fangs, have traditionally fought them for sparring practice. Today, this tradition is hardly followed by any but the most rustic and rugged warriors in training. The spear spider is also known as one of the boldest arachnid hunters, as it tends to rely less on its webs and more on its barbed legs to capture prey. As a result, this species ventures further from its nest than most other spiders. Spear spiderling. So it's the same. Okay. Afflictions and injuries. We'll read about those as they become pertinent, I think. Character stats. Combat mechanics, deities, those might be worth reading. Abaddon, Barath, Athos, Galawain, Hylia, Magren, Ondra, Rimmergrand, Skane, Whale, and Wodica. We'll read about them at a different date. Locations, we read about those, I think, all of them. Lore. Well, there's definitely some stuff to read there in the future, I believe. Tips. Okay, well, let's go to our quests. Visions and Whispers. After surviving an explosion outside the ruins of Ceylon Lees, I experienced a vision. Since then, I have been hearing sounds with no source and seeing things that aren't there. So we're still just seeking help for that. And what was the name of the inn? The Black Hound. That must be the one they sent us to.
Well?
Guardsman, Sellsword, Archer, Urgeet. Okay. Let's check our map. Oh, cool. The whole town's exposed. Ufra's house, Aloth, the Black Hound, Road West, Road South, Temple of Athos, Eder, Black Hammer Smithery, Road East, Ingrod's house, and the Windmill. So, I guess we'll head to the inn, but first, I suppose we'll try and speak with, or go through the pockets of that dead lady. Who's this man? Let's speak with Eder here.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Looking for anyone who can help me feel better. Strange way to talk about your dead. No, I don't need any help. Yeah, let's go with that one. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Anything else? The man smiles broadly. Welcome to our lovely village. Oh,
Yes.
cool. He's a cool character. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers, and notes half erased by the rains. Can we click on any of these? Okay, so he wasn't really serious that we should go picking through their body, I guess. A child. Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over 3 stars. Huh. Can we speak with this child? Oh, hey, what's this? No, we don't want to go down there, per se. So this is the temple. Okay. Let's speak with this child. Who's that? That looks like a moon godlike. This is going to be
Yes.
Barath's house now. Okay, who's Barath? We will quick save. And let's speak to this man. Halcyon. Whoa. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call to you. Reach out for the soul? This is weird. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth. His countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movements of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Wow. So that was intense. No, that's all we can do is reach out at a soul? That's crazy. We can't, like, chip this away or anything, can we? No.
Yes.
Or, I guess we don't have to chip away the... You know what I mean, like, pull off the vines? But no, it doesn't seem that way. What if it's not the baby? Maybe Kolsk managed to... Who's Kolsk? Well, let's keep an eye out for any named villagers. Should we rob this? I mean, I guess we'll take it. Who knows? We might need ale. We're going to explore around the town now that we're here. The ways in which your character interacts with people in dialogues. Even something. Ingrid and Naunton. Naunton. Ingrid. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing 2 bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little. Can we help you? She looks at her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Naunton? Naunton coughs. Yes, I think we met in the Vale Wood. I warned him of the bear. He inclined his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? They do seem to be in a hurry. You two seem to be in a hurry. You two are in good spirits for people who've just lost a friend. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? Let's go with the top one. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Naunton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Yeah, I don't blame you. Naunton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? Ingrid smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rot goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have better chances of it elsewhere. Or a better chance of it elsewhere. Goodbye. Huh. Can we rob them? The Deerwood, Part 2. Broken Stone War. Huh. You guys mind? No? Cool. I'll just help myself then. The bottle of Sonreed is half empty. Or is it half full? Let's go to our inventory. And it's probably in here. I guess perhaps it's in our journal. Journal? Biography? Visions? Encyclopedia. Notes. So I could create notes. That's good to know. Where the heck did that book go? Oh, there. No, that's the journal. Indeed. It's not in here. Oh, there. Oh, I didn't realize that was a tab. Derp. The Deerwood Part 2, The Broken Stone. In 2626 AI, a group of farmers, while clearing farmland for planting, accidentally knocked down one of the ancient Adra menhirs on their land. This innocent act drew the ire of the native population and started what would come to be known as the Broken Stone War. When it was finally over, several thousand colonists have been killed, as well as hundreds of the Glanfathans. Even though the war was technically over, the Glanfathans escalated their attacks on the settlers over the next 2 years using vicious tactics that left many colonies, several military figures, an earl, and 6 thanes dead. Pardon me while I have a drink. Unable to stop the Glanfathans' attack, the earls elected Earl Edrang Hadrit to the position of Gref. Well respected and known to be a master of military tactics, he was tasked with dealing with the Glanfathan threat. Edrang fought with the Glanfathans, led by an Orlan named Regd, for the next 2 years. Neither side can gain the upper hand on the other, resulting in a tense stalemate between the two groups. Because of this stalemate, the hostilities slowly died off, and in 2631, 5 years of war, the Deerwood people signed a treaty with the Glanfathans. Regd would step down, the Glanfathans would stop their attacks altogether, and the Deerwooden people would leave the ruins alone. This treaty angered the nobility in Edir, as it brought to a halt the supply of artifacts. Edrang also tried to get the practice of slavery outlawed, but this was not successful. Because of this, the peace between Deerwood and Glanfathan is uneasy and tumultuous. Small patches of rural violence still cropped up, but were easily dealt with, as neither side wanted another war. Interesting. Well, let's head back to the town. Building the Warden's Lodge in your stronghold grants access to a variety of bounties. Bounty quests are challenging combat encounters that yield valuable rewards, including unique items. That's cool, so we get our own, fortress? Our own stronghold? That sounds awesome. Is it in this town, perhaps? Do we take out this lord? Wow. It is dark. I guess It's not as dark near us. Wonder why we were all the way down there. I like that it turns gray when you've searched it. That's incredibly handy. Who are you? Just a villager. Well, should we head to the inn, or should we continue exploring? I feel like maybe we head to the inn, and then we explore the town in the daylight. Oh, we've got a couple of named people here. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd is congregated around a platform, and they all watch, transfixed, as a man is led to the platform, flanked by 2 city guardsmen. The man is shackled hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads the voice from the crowd, as he reads, and voice from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one the cloaked man flinches and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of his proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk, and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. So was his father killed for giving birth to a godlike? Because he looks like a godlike. Rodolfo Necatore. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's souls. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner is a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by, a small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches, a heavy-set Aumau, plastered stiff across his face, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap to her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. Okay, that's weird.
Yes.
Yes. More villagers. We'll pick your plants, because I see no reason not to. We'll head in this place. We might as well head in these two places. We'll save the windmill. Nah, we should just go in there. We'll go to the inn last. You can change the portraits of your main character and adventurers through the current portrait... Oh. Let's, Ooh, another book. Part 3. Oh. Okay. I understand. Let's reload. That's fair enough. You shouldn't steal from people's houses. Those other guys were leaving. They were packing. We don't need to kill people in town because we're thieves. You just get so used to doing that in games, you'd think nothing of it. To rob every book. Let's speak to these people then. Well, let's check this out first. Rats scurry behind the sacks. Okay. Gross. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a crowded marketplace, vendors' stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passerbys to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throng, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendors' goods, tarrying at a book merchant while a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on the shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable, and familiar with each other. Sounds like me and my wife. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits the woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away toward one of the buildings. The women stop and look at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them, something derisive and hateful, something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her pack and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air towards them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and buildings around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the best course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. This woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and the attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering calming words. A kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms. Her eyes soften, her lips regaining the lost smile. The woman smiles again as well, and kisses the other. "Wizard scum!" the man behind them says, and the two women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join their hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. Ah, bigots. Well, I'm sure we're gonna have the same thing here, so let's find out. You see a key turned gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inwards. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents and oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, bags. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence and from downstairs, then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother, and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. That's interesting.
What is it?
Well, we'll head outside and end the episode. So, until next time, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. This is Father of Two, signing off.